Has your organization adopted a culture of safety and taken steps to promote an environment of excellence? How is management engaged? Are financial incentives tied to performance and organizational goals? Do you actively recognize successes and share lessons learned among all parts of the organization?
Quality is the product we sell, and it starts with the patient. We build our decisions around patient care, and wherever you fit around supporting that is self-evident. And when we find ourselves wandering off path, we often find ourselves realizing that we put our own interests ahead of the patient, or the organization's interest ahead of the patient, or an individual or a physician's interest ahead of the patient. So we step back, we realize, all right, let's stop the conversation. What's best for the patient care? All right, now let's go from here.
When we define culture, we identify culture in relation to the core mission of the enterprise, but it also is a series or embedding of values within the organization. So if we focus on quality, we establish a culture of quality and safety and compliance. And so if in our quality processes we insert not only the technical rigor, but also the empathic rigor to care for patients in a sincere way by our physicians and our other caregivers, that's critically important.
Having board members round within the organization sends a very clear message to caregivers that the board is actively engaged in creating a culture of safety. It shows signs of support, and it also shows that we are caring about them as individuals as well as the patients that we care for.
As clinicians, we're very focused on the clinical aspect of care, and we don't always get exposed or think we have time for the culture involvement in an organization. And in the ideal world, a nurse that has both, has the experience and the interest in both, is the best bedside caregiver. And that's really what we need for culture change. If we really get this information and get the board and the frontline caregiver linked, we can really drive culture change in an organization and improve the care for the patients, and that's what this is all about.
The way we learn from harm is to be transparent. We certainly support a culture of self-reporting. We certainly support a culture where we take a deep dive into root cause analysis when an event does occur. We are a culture of reward and recognition and reinforcement. And that includes celebrating wins, it includes celebrating good outcomes, but it also includes a recognition that we're not perfect. So when we have an event, we want to make sure there's a human face associated with it. It's about the patient that's impacted or the family that's impacted. So we humanize that as we go through the root cause analysis, and we humanize that even as we tell the story to our committee, quality committee, the board.
We are very transparent about our quality data. Each unit in our hospital posts its quality data, and we want our board members to visit the hospital, visit those areas, ask questions about that quality data, really give thank you to people who are doing a great job on the quality data, and then also to ask the difficult questions when perhaps the performance isn't where we want it to be. Do they have the resources? Do they have the training? Do they have the understanding?
We want to share, we want to learn from each other in what we do well and what we can improve in and lessons learned. So that took some time. It took some time to get comfortable with that. But now we do have it set up so that we actually are very transparent. We talk about misses or events or measures that we're not achieving.
There are many ways to look at whether or not a board is being effective in the realm of quality. First of all is, are they ensuring that the organization has an overall culture that highlights the need for continuous improvement, that rewards continuous improvement, and that can demonstrate and celebrate that improvement over time. So culture and being sure that the organization has an overall focus and that it values quality is very important. The second is the organization willing to share that performance? Is it open? Is it transparent? Does it respect the right of patients and communities to know how well the organization is performing? I think a board can really encourage the clinical staff and the management staff in that area.
Every board meeting, we talk about our quality and safety culture, and we try to take the temperature of the organization, and we ask our executives, how are people feeling about their resourcing? How are people feeling about the training? Do they have adequate resources? Are they needing anything additional that the board can help provide?
The key drivers are simple: reward and recognition. Everybody loves a thank you and a pat on the back. Input and decisions that affect you. A very collaborative environment where people participate on teams to improve quality. Feeling valued and connected to the organization's mission and how, if I do my job, we succeed, and connectedness there. Open communication drives culture. Everybody wants to know what's going on. How are we doing? Where are we succeeding in? Where do we have opportunities to improve? So open communication is very important.
There are certain behaviors in an organization that are part of the culture that really promote a safety culture. And one of the things we've talked about this year is cultivating respect as a culture to make our safety better. We know that when there's strong personal trust, when there's strong respect among the members of the team, that things get done better and things get done more safely. So we're identifying respect behaviors within our organization and developing the culture where we'll call each other when we're not exhibiting those respect behaviors. We know that by doing that, we'll have better teams, and that will benefit our patients, benefit quality, benefit safety, and benefit the sustainability of our organization, as well as making it a better place to work.
Trustees should recognize that they sit on top of a very high-risk organization. What we do causes risk to the patient with the hopes that we will improve their outcomes. In many high-risk organizations, a culture of reliability is developed, knowing that we cannot avoid harm in all cases, but we certainly can anticipate it and mitigate the effects of harm if we are truly prepared. Boards should insist that a culture of reliability, including a wide perspective to anticipate harm, and also training to deal with the harm effects, is inculcated in every member of the clinical team.
We have built a culture that is a tool or a means to an end to accomplish, in this case, high quality. And so those same tools apply across the spectrum of the services that we deliver and the environments in which we deliver them. We also have adopted what's called a just culture. When it comes to quality, sort of disseminating out what are the people issues, what are the system issues, what are the process issues that led to a failure. And so we've got an algorithm that really assesses what we would like to do in terms of measuring what the causes and more importantly, how do we prevent a reoccurrence of a failure in this case. So this just culture mindset is something that we've begun to deploy throughout the organization.
We do regular quality culture and safety culture assessments. We get that feedback at the board level. We talk about what our progress has been to date and where we may need to devote additional time and attention to further improving culture. So it's really the underpinning of performance, and we have a strong culture-performance tie.
It is critical that the board is actively engaged in improving patient outcomes. Part of that is setting an example and being involved with the culture of safety.
Boards must ensure that their hospital or health system has a clearly defined culture that centers around the patient and emphasizes transparency, reward, and recognition. Boards must oversee the process of assessing their organization's values, policies, and leadership actions against its desired culture and then implement changes as needed. Boards must understand that a safety culture involves training, education, resources, trust, respect, and a clear set of expected values and behaviors. And it is the board's role to ensure that the desired culture is achieved.